It's like when you're born, usually you're born into a dynasty or an empire, right? Our family crest was cotton, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's like the only thing we can really leave behind is culture, is music. Every little thing you do. It's such a gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business, if you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush.
I look at this and I think many things. The first is the obvious, just like this guy.
In fact, there are no natives anywhere in the world. Everyone is from somewhere else. All people are refugees, immigrants, or aliens. If there are natives anywhere, it would have to be people still living in the Great Rift Valley in Africa. So everyone is just visiting. So much for native. As far as calling them Americans is concerned, well, how can I say this? We steal their hemisphere, destroy 500 cultures, kill 20 million, stick the rest of them on the worst land we can find, and then as a special bonus, we name them after ourselves. Come on. It's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing.
And like this guy.
Do you think this country's turning right?
No, I think that the media is turning right. And I think that many of the people who get into office have gotten in there by wearing a pseudo middle of the road kind of a costume and then lean toward the right when they find out the right is paying the freight once they get into office. Let our minds drift back to the early days right before Reagan made his big run. There was a deal made between the fundamentalist right and the Republican Party, literally purchasing the platform. If you stick the prayer in school on here, if you stick the abortion on here, money, the land of milk and honey will flow. It is so wealthy and it is so protected. There's so much money involved, and I think that it has been the ruination of the GOP.
It's this conclusion. I wish they were here for the times that we are living in. For Tupac.
It's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving in the streets.
It is, and I mean this in every way of the word, sadly timeless.
One way to depict the increasing split between the top 20% and the rest of Americans, says economist Mark Zandi, the letter K.
The folks at the top part of the income and wealth distribution are doing fabulously well. And of course, folks at the bottom part of the K, lower middle income households, they're struggling.
Heather Long wrote about the K-shaped economy in the Washington Post.
This economy right now is being driven by spending from the top 20% of Americans. So that dividing line is roughly $175,000. And the rest of America, the bottom 80%, they're cautious right now.
So many others are pinching pennies, looking to spend less on just the basics at discount stores like Dollar General, which recently reported an increase in middle and higher income shoppers. And budget grocer Aldi is America's fastest growing retailer.
And here's the thing, it is only getting worse. A CBS News report in January of 2026 would write the top 1% of households owned 31.7% of all U.S. wealth in the third quarter of 2025, the highest share on record since the Fed began tracking household wealth in 1989. That share has increased even as wealth growth for the rest of the population has stalled or slowed, the data shows. Collectively, the wealthiest 1% held about $55 trillion in assets in the third quarter of 2025, roughly equal to the wealth held by the bottom 90% of Americans combined. An Oxfam report would also tell us billionaire fortunes have grown at a rate 3 times faster than the average annual rate in the previous 5 years since the election of Donald Trump in November 2024. While U.S. billionaires have seen the sharpest growth in their fortunes, billionaires in the rest of the world have also seen double-digit increases. Actions of the Trump presidency, including the championing of deregulation and undermining agreements to increase corporate taxation, have benefited the richest around the world. Oh, you don't say. Where even famed comedians absolutely despise them.
This guy sieg-heiled twice Two of them. Once in the front, if you missed it in the back. And it's just like, he still has a job. That guy still has a job.
Very quickly, if you can, become a paid channel member or go to Buy Me a Coffee to support this channel. Thank you.
I don't understand those guys. And this isn't politically. It's just like, I don't understand why they're so upset with this country. It's like, you're billionaires. I think it's working for you. Like, why are you going and telling everybody, justify what you do? It's like, fucking justify what you do. That piece of shit car that you're making that the government financed.
And some of the most popular artists in the world.
We're in a time right now where the world is really, really bad and really dark, and people need empathy and help more than kind of ever, especially in our country. And I'd say if you have money, it would be great to use it for good things and maybe give it to some people that need it. And love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties.
To understand how much money they have, get this.
Okay, listen. People don't appreciate the difference between a million and a billion. Okay, I did the calculations myself. 1 million seconds accounts for about a week and a half. Okay, 1 billion seconds is 32 years long. That's crazy. Okay, let's put this into further context. Okay, if you want to be a millionaire, I can give you $5,000 a day for 6 months, and you'd be a millionaire. If I give you $5,000 a day for 547 years, then you would be a billionaire.
It gives one just a small sample of the psychology with the billionaire mind. Or as Josh Johnson put it to the Dan Le Batard show.
Because I feel like when all your dreams come true or when you have all the money in the world, that is when you lose your mind, and usually not in like a fun way. But by and large, it that much power, money, influence, anything, even if it's like happenstance, it leads to something that's like very bad for other people, right?
So the one question we keep hearing is this.
Do billionaires have a right to exist? America has driven more than 650 species to extinction, and it should do the same with billionaires. Billionaires claim they deserve their riches, but let's face it, there are only 5 ways to become a billionaire, and they're all bad. Number 1, exploit a monopoly. Number 2, exploit inside information. Number 3, buy off politicians. Number 4, defraud investors. Number 5, get money from rich relatives. But do today's entrepreneurs really need billions of dollars? I mean, couldn't they survive on a measly 100 million? Because they're now using those billions to erode American institutions.
Some will argue, hey, it's trickle-down economics. It'll work.
For more than 40 years, we've been sold a myth that America's rich and powerful were under siege, overtaxed, overregulated, carrying the weight of the economy on their shoulders. And that if you ease up regulation on them and they prosper, the benefits will trickle down to the rest of the population. But the reality is that economic policy hasn't even remotely punished the elites in this country. It has simply rewarded them. And it's done so at the direct expense of working people, the middle class, the working class, and the working poor. Let me explain the root of the problem. According to the American Economic Policy Institute, largely because of technology, from 1979 to 2019, U.S. worker productivity grew 59.7%. That meant a worker is 59.7% more productive at their job. But that worker's reward for all that extra output is a 13.7% wage increase over the same period. So putting out 59.7% more work, getting paid 13.7% more. That's a 46% gap. The amount, one might argue, that workers are being underpaid relative to their output. From 1979 to 2019, middle-income workers saw just 13% growth, as I mentioned, in wages adjusted for inflation. America's lowest-paid workers fared worse, gaining just 3%. But the already high earners, the top 1%, their income is up 160% over the same period. Take the top 0.1%, their income is up 345%.
It is a myth, a flat-out myth.
Here's the truth about tax cuts for the rich. They explode the federal debt, fuel giant profits at the biggest firms and financial institutions, and stoke a surge in billionaire wealth. But do nothing for average working people. Nothing trickles down.
The most important thing to combat this?
When I ran for mayor, I said I was going to tax the rich. Well, today, we're taxing the rich. I'm thrilled to announce we've secured a pied-à-terre tax, the first in New York's history. This is an annual fee on luxury properties worth more than $5 million, whose owners do not live full-time in the city. Like for this penthouse, which hedge fund CEO Ken Griffin bought for $238 million. This pied-à-terre tax is specifically designed for the richest of the rich, those who store their wealth in New York City real estate, but who don't actually live here. But even so, they're able to reap the huge financial rewards of owning property in, dare I say, the greatest city in the world. And most of the time, these units are sitting empty, since again, they don't actually live here. This is a fundamentally unfair system that hurts working New Yorkers. Now, it's coming to an end. This tax will raise at least $500 million directly for the city. It'll help fund things like free childcare, cleaner streets, and safer neighborhoods. As mayor, I believe everyone has a role to play in contributing to our city, and some a little bit more than others. Happy Tax Day, New York.
Get in politicians that will not only serve your interests, but tax people who have more money than God.
They don't even live in New York. That's why they had this second homes in New York that are sitting empty. So these are people who've already moved to Miami or whatever. So, in a sense, if you're playing the game of it's going to chase them out of the city, well, disincentivize them to move to the city. Then they can avoid this tax if they just actually lived in the apartments that we all know, like Emily was saying, they're not going to do that. They're going to pay this, and they will pay it without even noticing. You don't live here to begin with, and now you have, more housing stock that is available. Now, of course, you're not going to have working class people moving in, but if you actually did reduce the demand for these super, super luxury buildings, then developers would have more of an incentive to build things that ordinary people would be able to afford, because I'm far less concerned about Ken Griffin moving out of the city and far more concerned about all of the working class people who cannot afford to live in New York City. They're the ones who have actually fled and are unable to, sustain a life there, even if they would like to.
And I want to be clear, this is a good thing. Instead of them using that money to buy another yacht, to buy another mansion, to buy even a private island, what could happen is our lives could be better by using that money that will be taxed on second homes, for example, with Mayor Zoran Mamdani's new initiative. What that will do is create better roads, better schools, an overall better education system, potentially healthcare, free childcare, better universities, and us having a safer and more, dare I say, healthy society. Because these people cannot take this money to the grave, and they do not know what to do with it. Luckily, if there were to be this tax, which a lot of blue states are trying to implement more and more because they see how popular this legislation is, then I do think we have something here. And let me just say overall, some have asked how we bridge the gap. It is this. It is not just saying words that are meaningless and empty, like J.D. Vance on the campaign trail claiming that he really wants to stick it to billionaires when he is completely funded by one. His entire career at this point has been funded by one, Peter Thiel, but actually doing it. And then on top of this, as Zoran and his team beautifully do, no other team does it like this, posting the W's. It is vital, it is important, and it is what I believe at least will unite us, at least to some degree, more than where we are right now.